Hello and welcome back to the Aflac Cup Series Season 13 as we roll on here at Race 5 in Fremont, Indiana, just south of the border of the great state of Michigan. And we are ready to do battle on the Roval today at Altitude Fremont Motor Park. A special look at Adrenaline Motorsports. Get to know the new team in the Aflac Cup Series featuring an old star in Jamie McMurray and an up-and-coming youngster in Jack Mitchell from Los Angeles, California, and Jamie McMurray, of course, from Joplin, Missouri. McMurray is one of the most experienced drivers in the sport, having raced at the top level since 2002. He raced at Ganassi, and now he's back in season 13 for Adrenaline Motorsports. The new kid on the grid is Jack Mitchell. Mitchell debuted in the K&N Pro Series in 2015. He's been climbing the NASCAR ladder ever since, with most of his rides funded by his self-owned sponsor, Altitude Graphics. His last few years of racing in the Xfinity were highlighted by a fierce rivalry with Joe Gibbs driver Ty Gibbs. Here's his career timeline from 2014 to present day. Most notable in 2019, he signed with Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series, would win 12 races in this ride from this point until the end of Aflac Cup Series Season 12, and a partnership with McMurray led to a big associate sponsor in McDonald's. The team started when McMurray and Mitchell first met in 2018. Their quick friendship was intended to lead to Mitchell racing for Ganassi's Xfinity team in 2019, but of course, the untimely shutdown forced himself out, and now he is teamed up with McMurray at Adrenaline Motorsports in the Aflac Cup Series as a three-team alliance, and now we are ready to follow their journey here in Season 13 of the Aflac Cup Series. Here's the pre-race points check-in. Tyler Reddick is at the top of the list. Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Ryan Preece, Denny Hamlin, Truex, Daniel Hemrick, and Daniel Suarez all inside that oh-so-precious top 8. And here's 9th through 16th, Michael McDowell and Todd Gilliland, just 1 point out. Whoever would have guessed those front-row motorsports drivers are out by 1 point. Shane Van Gisbergen, he's making his Aflac Cup Series debut with Colleague Racing here today. Rolling off 4th on the grid, Denny Hamlin. He is the overall consensus favorite in the garage area for today's race here as we go rights and lefts. Jamie Mack is always one to watch here on the road courses. He's got quite the talent when it comes to these rights and lefts. And Kyle Busch, he needs something positive to happen. Unfortunately for him, he is starting deep in the field if he ever wants to get back into this playoff contention. And then Todd Gilliland, the car feels great. He slipped up in qualifying, though. He's just 1 point out of the grid. Let's see what he can do today. Now it's time for the command. Drivers, start your engines! The cars fire up here. Chris Buescher and Denny Hamlin roll off here as we're going to check out your starting lineup. On the pole is Chris Buescher. Next to Denny, Hammer, and Hamlin. The fan favorite Chase Elliott next to SVG. Michael McDowell and the New Jersey Fury, Martin Truex Jr. Row 4 finds Austin Cindric and Zane Smith. Row 5, we have Jamie McMurray next to Ty Gibbs. And in row 6, it's Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe. Christopher Bell next to Gino Harvey in row 7. And in row 8 is Daniel Suarez next to William Byron. Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman, Hendrick teammates, sit in row 9. And in row 10, it's Ross the Boss Chastain next to the Todd father. Jack Mitchell with the race sponsor on the hood next to Ryan Preece. Joe Logano and Kyle Busch in row 12. Corey LaJoie and Bubba Wallace in row 13. Some rumors swirling around about Corey LaJoie. Probably touch on that next race. Carson Hocevar next to Carter Adelman. And Noah Gragson and Ryan Blaney in row 15. Big Bad Brad Keselowski and Harry Burton in row 16. Josh Berry next to Daniel Hemrick, who's currently in the playoffs. And then row 18, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. next to Austin Dillon. Running the field, Legacy Motorsports drivers Eric Jones and John Nemechek. We got 8 laps today. The most recent winner was Kevin Harvick back in Season 12. That's a typo on the screen there. Season 12, last season. It's pretty hot here in Fremont, but we are ready to go green flag racing here today on the Roval. Green flag is in the air. Chris Buescher takes the jump, but he gets a little loose off the nose of Chase Elliott. Michael McDowell slips under and takes the lead through the hairpin. McDowell up through the S's, through the top of the loop here. Chase Elliott all over his back bumper. Climbing back down the S's. Battle for third is on between Van Gisbergen and Denny Hamlin. Off of the final turn, McDowell is going to lead lap 1 here at the Altitude Fremont Roval. Look at Shane take second place from Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is a really good Cup Series road course driver. But Shane Van Gisbergen, of course, we all know his history. Oh, here they go. Oh, they're going to make contact. Oh, through the S's. Elliott goes around and smacks the inside wall with the driver's side door. Caution comes out for SVG and Elliott making contact as they just begin to go through the S's. Off of the carousel, Chase Elliott and Shane Van Gisbergen collide there. Van Gisbergen goes through the grass, and Chase Elliott hits driver's side. Not too heavy contact there, as long as that toe link isn't bent there on the left rear. I think Chase Elliott should be fine to continue. But that caution does come out. Yeah, and unfortunately, Denny gets into him and turns him, but that's obviously not Denny's fault. Just nowhere to go there, as Chase Elliott was loose off of Shane Van Gisbergen, and now he's got a wounded Napa Chevrolet starting deep in the field. We got some 2 road course aces on the front row. Michael McDowell, Shane Van Gisbergen, green flag, back in the air here at Fremont. Denny Hamlin's going to give McDowell a nice push into turn 1 off of turn 2. Oh, Austin Cindric gets into Van Gisbergen. Oh, Van Gisbergen gets his revenge. Cindric around the front of the field. McMurray goes around 2. Gets tagged by Kyle Larson. We stay green here as Hamlin takes the lead through the S's. Let's check out that replay here as you look on the right. And yeah, Van Gisbergen definitely had intent on getting into Cindric there. Suarez turns McMurray around. McMurray then gets tagged a little bit by Kyle Larson. Zane Smith also got involved in that as well. Unfortunate for Zane Smith, who was having a great run going. I mean, all those drivers were. See, Smith didn't lose too much ground, though. Going through the carousel here, Van Gisbergen has fallen back to 4th. Leading the race is Denny Hamlin, 2nd place. McDowell, 3rd place. Christopher Bell. Hocevar goes wide there. Looks like he might have tagged the wall in the carousel. There's Chase Elliott trying to work his way through the field. Hamlin leads across the stripe here on lap 5. Through turns 1 and 2. C. Bell trying to get 2nd place from McDowell. He'll grab that nice and easy as they go through the hairpins. Up the hill through the carousel, Denny Hamlin leads Christopher Bell. Van Gisbergen and Truex are battling for 4th. Oh, Larson gets up into Chris Buescher. He's a pole sitter for today's race. He's starting to fall back almost outside the top 10. Here we go through some of the final turns here. Oh, we got some contact. Oh, it's Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, and not Ricky Stenhouse, Chris Buescher. Stenhouse used to drive that 17, my bad. Chris Buescher involved, Chase Briscoe, and Tyler Reddick. Major contact for Tyler Reddick. That was a hard hit. Oh, don't like to see that for our points leader. So Reddick's still kind of comfortably in the chase, but, you know, that's always scary, getting involved in a wreck. Oh, hard hit for Briscoe here. Buescher right into his driver's side door. So Chris Buescher gets tagged in this wreck. He will go to the garage area and try and continue. Now we got to pull that pedal back to the metal here. Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell. We're going to have a wild restart. 2 laps remain here at the Altitude Fremont Roval. Hamlin gets a good jump, but oh my gosh, he gets clipped by his teammate. Oh, and McDowell goes around as the Gibbs drivers battle for the lead. That opens the door for SVG. Up the hill into the carousel. SVG gets into Christopher Bell, pushes him off the racetrack. Hamlin gets in SVG. SVG through the grass, and he stays in the top 3. Gets back 2nd to Hamlin's bumper, pushes him out of the way. Shane Van Gisbergen kept it on the racetrack through the grass, ends up in the race lead through the hairpins. Denny Hamlin going side by side with Shane up the hill into the carousel. Hamlin's not going to get there. SVG now has the momentum going down the hill. Down the hill through the S's into the final turns. Shane Van Gisbergen is going to win in his first career start. Have you heard that before? I think we have. Oh my gosh, does this guy have talent or what? Shane Van Gisbergen, welcome to the Aflac Cup Series, my man. What a race. Kaulig Racing, the 2nd win of the year, and at number 16. Both on road courses, Allmendinger and now Van Gisbergen. That was incredible to watch. Shane Van Gisbergen is the winner, but we do have word from Race Control. The finish is currently under review. Denny Hamlin thinks that Van Gisbergen should be penalized. They are all over the radio about this. Now, does Shane, that is hard racing, but Hamlin does get into Van Gisbergen and pushes Shane Van Gisbergen off the track. So I think that is what is going to save Shane Van Gisbergen here. Hamlin does have a valid point. Oh, I don't think Hamlin touches him. Shane just clips the rumble strip and ends up going off course. But the thing is, Shane Van Gisbergen, did he cut the course? I think the momentum brought him off the course. And yes, word is in. Shane Van Gisbergen is awarded the win here at the Altitude Fremont Roval, and he's going to park it right in front of Denny Hamlin on pit road. Oh my goodness. Shane Van Gisbergen is confirmed the winner here at the Altitude Fremont Roval. They were looking at if he cut the course. The finish was under review, but ACS officials have deemed he was forced off the racetrack, and he is the race winner. Now, here are your point standings. The first four out of the playoffs: Gino Harvey, Martin Truex, Joey Logano, and Kyle Larson. Daniel Suarez is in by 3. Ryan Blaney, Ryan Preece. Oh my goodness, it's getting close here. Daniel Hemrick falls all the way down to 20th after an abysmal day. Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, and Ross Chastain, those three made the championship 4 in season 12. And Kurt Busch was the fourth one. He's retired, so obviously he's not going to be making it. But those three are really far out of that top 8 cut line. So we'll see if any of those guys can work their way back into it. And here's your 25th through 36th. Not looking good for these drivers. 37th through 42nd. Corey LaJoie sits in 39th. Once again, I mentioned at the top of the show, some rumors swirling about Corey LaJoie in at number 7. Will he be there? Will he not? We'll see. Race results from today: Shane Van Gisbergen takes home the hardware over Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, Kyle Larson, and Daniel Suarez, your top 5. Ross Chastain comes home 7th. Much needed for him. Gino Harvey, a sneaky top 10 here, finishing 8th. This is where he got his first career victory on the oval, that is. Chase Elliott rallied for a 19th place finish. There's Christopher Bell. He ends up finishing 11th after being forced off the track. And shout out to Jack Mitchell. How about that? A nice 12th place finish here today. 15th was Joey Logano. Carson Hocevar comes home in 21st. Ryan Blaney, a very frustrating day. He doesn't really like the road courses. He comes home 22nd. Noah Gragson, 25th. Michael McDowell's finishing 24th. He got spun out late. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. Next race, we're racing same place, but on the oval. This time we're going counterclockwise around the racetrack. Should be fun. Thanks everybody for watching. This is JG24, James26. We'll catch you next time. Signing out.